that could also just be ridiculous.
Wait, I told you have a tweet for weather weapons.
It's not
Agree not to use weather. Oh yeah, but we can making it rain. Well,
you transition and then randomly trying to get the money back into it.
They're not set up for that. They're like some out of Charlie chocolate factory at the Crazy Prince, like the chocolate house. It's like that. Yeah, has all the money in the world.
Yeah, how did that come up? Because somebody in the
I found out.
was like, ridiculously. So it's just
That distinguish yourself from other people. You have to have the lowest license plate. Yeah, you want that because everybody has all the other crap. So how do you distinguish? That's how you live.
I have that kind of Saudi style sense of humor sometimes. I always wanted to go on stage and say something along the lines of like,
seems like a
clap if you have COVID.
So these guys,
Or something like that. Just like a ridiculous thing you can't do. So it's similar to the monkey thing. Yeah, I sometimes do that with
so they have like some sort of a diplomatic
community.
Really
I think that's fun. Like, all right, so
in Beverly Hills,
if I can come right now,
like having
I did ask a lady that came over.
Ferrari, Lamborghini.
Yeah,
we were just about it.
Sure.
No, one of them. Everyone's filming, all the neighbors are filming. And then the guy just gets on a plane and gets out of the country. Yeah, everyone's jets before they get caught.
So I'm gonna say she's nice. I'm gonna say
Diplomatic. So that's what I'm saying.
what she did. She came out and said, "Did you recently?"
One stoplight, race down the street.
Yeah, I get a sleep. I don't want to say that mental, but it's very good. Sounds like
At least 2 times.
give me what you got. She's like, I was not do this for the next 3 hours. All the details of the rest. Why did I ask her to rate it? Did you not know that it was bad? It was a tough interview. Okay. She never came in the original pause.
But anyway,
So like this time, she was like, they're gonna point to the he was like, the day of the news, because she sees it here and she's like, Jesus Christ.
A lot of money. They think they should have like.
Yeah, dude, if she thinks this is bad,
They
she should see on you. Wow. I get
Hear that, guys?
Cheers, and she said, Steve.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was that. We've talked about that. I mean, you lost your fucking buzz, man. You're a creepy fuck. Like, can't say that you fucked up. Why did you leave that? Back up in the rest of your life. The girl comes over. I mean, I don't think I'm not trying to make you but we either try to move each other.
But that wasn't the case with me.
Let's just watch TV in my room.
But I know, like,
I have this rule, like, no shirt, no pants thing.
I don't give a fuck about it.
It's like, you don't have to admit
I
some
don't care if
Buddhist
everybody's
thing
me. I don't
that
care
we're
if
working on. We just respect my religion. You can come in my room. It's a thing. Let's just have sex. Why would we here and watch TV here? We can work it out. You're right, dude, because this lady and I, she's only been.
So where were we?
Yeah, it fucked you up, dude. Do you like this is my one that left her? I sink into this motherfucker. It's great for sound, but you know this shit is like. If there wasn't a podcast going on, but I asked fucking get back to me. Yeah. How fast? Fast. Peter Nicholas just talking race. Fast fucking. Sydney Sweet, Abu Dhabi, baby. Sucks ass. I saw him recently. He had another take on something. I can't remember what it was. Oh, was it? I think it might have been Riyadh or something or other, but we just right. Hit the keyboard capital video. Yeah. Should have sent you the picture. Oh my god.
I thought the goal.
Chief nerd. Over again. Just Schultz fine takes.
When I remember the day where I was like,
Yes, in the Bad Bunny. That's what it's about. We have to watch Bad Bunny Super Bowl. Hello, everybody. This week it was a global sensation spotlight #1. There are some things I watched the videos. There are some things in this one that I flat out don't understand the connection. So I'll point them out as well.
all of them were
Rise Club, the knowing Duolingo, darling, Bad Bunny. Rise
Oh, you can story on it. And I was like, no. We were doing things like waiting for a lot of
Platino is like,
certain videos that they will not
it is fucking good. That is better than fucking go down there. I want to go to like a restaurant. Mexican restaurant. For sure.
And they changed. Yeah, Russia has, it's not seems like a NATO area, but they have signed a thing with China and Iran. Yeah, so
That's the best
the
one.
Russia
They all
was
do
supposed to
it.
be the Korean thing that's,
It's like,
I guess those people or even
these are good. Where's the crazy? Come on, I got it. It's not really doing much of it. What's it called?
somebody would real bad.
What's that? Strong cream.
Well, I really died, so I'm like,
Yeah, I would try it. I do like I say, I like trying to I'll fuck my way to
I'm
our
gonna tell you,
pizza.
I'm just saying,
All the proving spots give you Platinos with like nothing. But sometimes you get the cream.
it's called mind control. I break it up. No, it's not actually. It's quite a really long and Kmart was the one in the 90s that
Proclaim the knowing Duolingo, darling, Bad Bunny will be heading for the Super Bowl. Banging Boston Booty Boy. I just don't understand the appeal.
I thought it was him. But
They love. He looks like a guy who snaps your girlfriend or wife and ties her to the railroad tracks. He's like the train's gonna hit her harder than fucking Stephen Hawking's Hikes. I don't get it. I don't know why it's like
so where do furries come from?
at the end of the day,
I think that
it's
is a part of it.
I think so. Right now, he's kind of like
But I like genetic engineering boys who would like to be
who don't know Bad Bunny
They have
is
the
the world's
mind,
largest
the
Latin
trust,
trap
right?
artist, followed closely by Ice. Literally, surely, the past few weeks we've had in America,
As a child,
cult
I like
exhausted from politicizing everything from finding shootings to the logo change to force blatant politics into the summertime show. Right? No, Rocky star, cultural commentator, lesbian kickball coach, and my hair daughter for the Street Fighter movie said, "This isn't about music. It's about putting a guy on stage that hates Trump and MAGA." Now, to be fair to this Leah Thomas Labubu doll, it is odd to choose an artist who doesn't actually. Oh wait.
create all that stuff.
Leah
It's
Thomas
like the first joke about Steve Jobs, like he's younger than them.
I mean, I think
the iPhone, but
that
they act like
what he's doing
bullshit, where it's like a great industrialist that does like you just tell
it has to be a certain. I bet it was.
you
All
need
right,
that
figured
like
out how.
you get all the credit, it's all on you.
And
That's
then you ride
weird.
it.
Like a
Okay.
sometimes.
And then in the end, the bag is school.
You know, someone was
So it's a YouTube thing. Beautiful bag is school. Take TikTok to YouTube to make the video.
and one of them that
it's some sort of weird format. You rhyme 3 times with a cultural topic or whatever. Every time you notice it has some of somebody, maybe they're trans, a little person in a wheelchair of some kind. And then they rhyme somehow. And like stuff like that. Yes, I did write that. Trying to be bad. It was hard to think of these on the way over. A country whose language outside of Dearborn, Michigan. I'm kidding. Dearborn, I'll see you guys next week. That's real. Anyway, a couple months ago, this handsome guy with questionable sperm motility said, Bad Bunny's the biggest artist in the world, right? He came to the Super Bowl. Now, for the record, I also said Netflix would be dead, and now it's the world's biggest streamer, so in a lot of ways, I probably spoke this into existence, and that's why they call me Nostradamus. You're welcome, Puerto Rico. Now, when I said that, my thinking was, it's the NFL halftime booker's job to create a show that appeals to as many NFL fans as possible. That makes sense, right? For example, if someone was putting on a show for Ben Shapiro and his company, they would hire a choir of Palestinian toddlers being crushed by a hospital bombing, or as Ben calls it, porn. But after Mr. Bunny was chosen, I asked myself, what really is the goal of the Super Bowl halftime show? Is it to entertain the fans? Sure. Is it to sell AirPods? Absolutely. Or is it being used to extend the reach of the NFL? Is an example of someone they like to have as their fan. The NFL wants to be a global brand. They have games in London so they can reach a larger Muslim audience. They have games in Mexico so the Raiders fans will report themselves. They have games in Brazil, now that Tom Brady retired, they see it as the NBA abroad and the international dominance of soccer. The people with free healthcare and missing teeth call it football. So maybe they're hiring a musical act. It's a massive global success. And I would feel that the alliteration was so bad.
One person, but a lot of promises kept to not even here, but
David, I think there should be. He should have said something about teeth.
Of course,
Because he had the guy who said healthcare with no teeth. Well, pretty much toddler teeth. There you go. Where you left toddler teeth on the table. That was right there. And that's the levels to the shit around. I'm working hard with the Olympics. That's what
I want to know be a way to read because someone that has an opinion and people that organically will agree on this opinion versus somebody who's voting on that and figuring out how to get people their time and they're giving us food. Someone who is there kids can get CT too. Just maybe. Not enough fuck Trump triggering limbs. Chances are American is usually the right one. Well, it's America, baby. In our race, we follow the money. Probably buy that razor and use it to show the Cowboys. Everybody's, you can't, every once in a while, you gotta do it. Screaming protest for something they're not organic, going to scream protest for. Like, that's a different thing than just protest.
If it's one of these stupid Schultz plans, there's gonna be something about this week. course, she's got something that's in this week. And she has boobs. That's half.
Exactly. But this is
Part of the people that watch the Consensus and Barstool think it's funny. There's a set that think it's funny, but they also there's levels of stupid where maybe the people that watch John Oliver are just kind of high and maybe they're trying to like preach guys like, oh, I know nothing about how drugs are. You're high and drugs, but then the Barstool Andrew Schultz fan is stupid high and drugs. That's a lot of stuff. The biggest cities in the world are liberation.
video.
They're like,
That was one of the things that but that's not illegal.
that's the guys from the Tampa. Fuck you, man. I mean, I try to watch that John Oliver shit, bro, like this week tonight or whatever. And it made me laugh because he's pretty shit. He's
for example, like the road wars in Iraq. When the veterans, when the veterans got crushed by tanks, it's great if you want to do that. By the way, that's fake. That people think they're not going to run away. But you did that for veterans. And it's not fake. It's got both sides. But the way they're so I realized like the problem you just say that it's the country program, right? They study it, that's what a culture is like crossing the line with the other side. Always show one doctor spoken sentences for life. They could be this talk. I just want to point out. Protest recording. I'm not against that, but the quicker you have your talking points, like you intake it, so much more reality stuff. You just get professional protesters asking about their life, just like that were on HBO. Just professional protesters their life. Professional protesters and professional rallies. War criminal, Nazis from the I don't believe the answer is okay, that might be fine Nazis anymore, but I don't believe the overall, and I know that's not really anything but I think they're not reliable. Like, what are you talking about? We went to the moon because of Nazis. What are you assholes talking about? Audis, all the companies are Nazi companies. Like, everybody's like, they get you focused on some stupid shit. Do you think this was a shit man to make that gesture? That's what this video is over there doing.
Because we do it.
the original pledge to the flag by
Shit creeps.
the original flag
I usually get it. Yeah, this is the first time it's ever happened. I've never been
until World War II.
Well, first of all, shout out to see we'll get some of the time. It's crazy to see that because it's happening right now. If you give money, I will bring Timos, bring us flour, bring Timos, and there's no money. On the Patreon, like that song that we just showed, it was from the Patreon. The Patreon song that was the original fight. Hell yeah! Oh, I forgot. Yeah. So if you're on the Patreon, yeah, obviously you must have it. So kind of fucked up. Got it eventually.
Yo, we're
I hope you guys enjoyed the song. Super stuff like that last week or this week. Yes. Playing it as well. So I thought it was really good.
One nation under
Oh, you had it. Oh, play it. That's great. And also,
When did they have it? What year did they have it?
anyway, Kennedy has a question that maybe you can answer. Oh yeah, you remind me we got a service every time we talk. September 20th, we're doing 24-hour straight on silver money. Flames, shout out to Flames.
Yeah. Superman is a punk ass.
Thank you, appreciate you playing. Yeah,
Hillary Clinton, she was a big supporter of the military too. So yeah, some people are. Shut up. That America wants alienation, whether you can back that. Doesn't matter what you think.
It took me so long out that
I don't fucking act like one. You know what I'm saying? I never call myself a Christian, but sometimes I will act Christian.
That's not why they're here. They're here. October 20th. Hopefully, Brandon Wall will the IBM guys.
Oh, like from what Jesus said. Oh, like Jesus said.
Yeah. Anyways, this is listen, pause for the super chats. That's not why they're here. So we gotta do it. So it's the timer open.
I'll tell you what.
No, I gotta turn it on. Pause for more super chats.
You seen that?
Start the team already. Mexican cookies away go here. Wait, only 18 likes. We're not gonna get started with that, but what's going on? That's let's see here. Got let's pop this month and this one's posted by Rising 24. I'm missing so many others. Just that. What is that? What is he called? That he said like that one thing. Turn it on to watching the ads. For the longest time, it was always on this.
Press a button and launch missiles.
Yeah. Watch that customer. Do you miss how?
Well, you know, 90% of some people got killed.
It's like the drone operator entertained or do I want it to be like
the drone operator.
Yeah, because I worry that that guy's prison. It's really funny. It's not like yeah. I do
The guy's speech about I watched
older than me, but he makes
the drone operators. I got put away into that. Trump's abusing it. Obama was abusing it.
So the Jack.
That's what they grab these people in charges and take them out because this is what
watch it. for so much content, right?
Must be not that. They're doing shit like that. So they're talking about
Watching every and I start to feel like some sort of
we still love people. We're worse than terrorists. We're worse. You send civilians. That's not collateral. That's who you kill. The collateral would be if you hit a terrorist. That's real. That's guys in prison for telling us that don't bomb everyone. The ones that I guess thinks there's not Nazis, don't they? Again, Bill's right about I think, but that was just such like a just look like you're focusing on the narrative. Yeah, there's a narrative out there. But
he wasn't thinking even harder. Like, was it, there's like
want to talk about
even
whatever the car, Ukraine or Israel and Palestine, like
that's not
Israel and Palestine.
with the girls tonight.
You need a lot of
Would you get out? This is real.
Yeah, oh, Daniel Hale,
12 hours ago, he's shooting
the former national security information about drone warfare.
so I don't feel so.
United States military, United States Air Force, 2009.
You saw my snow. How are your team doing? Because from this game, we just felt like 2 hours ago. Let's see here. We're released from July 5th, 2024,
right after.
I'm not surprised. Well, I am surprised about this because I've seen this before.
So he's out there right now. He's out there right now. You know what? What if he the guy who ran the podcast
Crazy 3G.
Johnson, yeah, right. Yeah,
But no, remember he did that.
Probably doesn't want to.
I'm assuming these things takes forever. It takes forever.
He talks about it now. Isn't that
Like, no, Mark,
you do it all again?
especially when you're a genius, you want to make sure
Now that it's out,
right? So he was doing it just for me.
if you could try it,
He's so far in the future. He's Australian. So hard. He's
the last thing you want to do is talk about it.
What does he do with them? And he's got longer.
I don't know.
It's like he didn't trust the media. By the way, that's
When he owes money for them,
big real breakdown. Oh, that's false.
I don't know. I don't think one of them is real, but why?
Yeah, that's funny. And these things they gotta put in the copy.
That should be the national bird of America.
Bob doesn't pay attention. Look at what did he do to this?
She just like God. Stays upstairs and helps those boys because they speak in freedom. That's America.
Doing the same thing to unfortunately. It's people.
Don't want to know where they go. I just want to keep my head down and do my job, which friends of mine that are not dumb struggle with that. Yeah. That's the American story.
It's funny that this picture
and do my job. I can't wait to say hi to Black man. Oh, how it's fire.
I wonder what it does in a lot of people think for sure. I mean, look at that smile. How hard do you think the photographer was trying to make
I understand that. Barely standing above water right now.
or just think like, I don't know, serious things. Please take your hands and
It's famine. The same reason why people want all the attention. People want, they want everything. They want to be number one. It's famine. Well, those what he's talking about. Expensive ways to figure out
this one's hilarious. It's supposed to be DoorDash driver says Bobby in a fraud.
He was unelected. You don't elect the guy that's done that.
Stop if you want to stop. I'm glad the shop special sucked.
You know how Obama was unelected?
Siphoning me on the tip. I'll never forget. True story. I was trying to use extra bucks. Just
And the thing is,
hard times and to resort to get the rain. I picked up in order for
there's a lot about what he's uncovering is to know
the back, the sign on the door says do not knock.
and you should that the state needs are not going to say word. You just also know fucking protest.
So I'm standing there on the phone like an asshole.
It's too regular. There's people about their own cars. So much pain on this stuff. What is their pain? I think they are. I could be wrong, but I don't think I am. You're the soda people, right? So they got MAGA, and I've seen people apologize. Maybe they did it willingly, or I mean willingly, but do or not. Not that I don't vote. I would have trusted anything about it. They go use their snap.
I don't understand
to buy soda. Don't say they can't buy soda. You know, there's an association.
He's living in his house. I get that it's a tip.
American Heart Association. Absolutely no. But do you remember when these things do lobster? Remember that? The lobster was welfare. You never heard this? Well, maybe
The door guy told me that he gave him one. ABTR this year. I don't know if it's really but I've seen it on my own. I see the 100% cheap.
Oh yeah, that's where we're losing all our money on welfare. Not for this country though.
I've heard years ago he was the comic book name.
But now,
MMA wasn't as big.
so you're like,
So it's kind of
1976
one of the servers comes to me and goes, hey, here's here to the show.
used 8 names, 30 addresses, 15 cell phone numbers.
He's huge, and they say he has things about the podcast. I was like,
non-existent deceased
that's 100% crazy.
welfare, tax-free,
They were at Fox News at the time with him, et cetera. Until the
sounds like
server
this lady's
friend of mine.
Reagan's going to be a gross exaggeration of a minor case of welfare.
She created some wings. Would have been maybe $4.
You could buy the CIA hotline. Let's get
just said, oh, thanks, brother.
I put on
I was so fucking embarrassed. I apologize profusely and took 20 out of my own tips. I came home that night, put on my apron, and hit the fire.
So that's the find out.
I mean, I don't know.
That's it.
Big story. I'm not sure if I believe that either. People call you a crackhead. It wouldn't shock me if he's like that. But, and also some of the stuff like
They're not like
things.
now.
If we know, but then somebody
It's helpful that they can't spend their money on what they want. What's welfare money? Lobster. They're paying. Like a Trump like that. Just like that is you should be of emotion. Buttons to try to. Now, there's okay. Well, you learn just like American Health not before that fluoride thing, which I don't believe. You talk to
she's wearing several of these sets. She's got $2 for a copy. She's really? There's a guy that already created it. She said he pulled up like he was a surprise if anything
that's easy. Wasting the fluoride say hello. Huberman had a great episode.
I thought he was saying kind of huge.
Fluoride, right? Florida in the water.
Granted, she says you never complain about a time if they were busy. You just sit there all day and go, hey, let's say 5 minutes for that long, and then always the truck lasts about
There's no reason for it to be fucking water. And yet there's still people that sell water.
Okay, well, it's got like 6 episodes still, but it has 100, so...
Shut the fuck up.
They're all
where the money comes from.
it's funny to live in the world where we talk about different things that 20 years ago.
Right. So
I can totally picture Shah going in there, just blaring the power because it's allowed him in. And so
most of their budget is like when people spend their snapbacks on shoulder clothes and they don't want to lose that. Well, they also have really
yes. Okay. Well, here's the thing. He does things
different commissions, the size.
He's not only
Like American Heart Association gets funded.
Yo, Rabbi. What up? Excellent, good work. What's up, Pimp? How you live?
I'm good, bro. I like your shirt.
Excellent, I appreciate it. It's more than $100 million cryptocurrency. What's good in your neck of the woods? Oh, tight. Yeah, absolutely. How long have you been in crypto? As was I. Yeah, it was like me, crypto, and then the Big Bang.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I remember you. I remember you. It's tight. You were cool. You were wearing. Yeah, you were wearing that shirt. I was like, who's this? Before the, and you were just chilling. That was tight. Yeah, dog. I know. All right, what else in your neck of the woods? I mean, I've always considered myself to be pretty sick. All right, so what's good in your neck of the woods? Let's start in crypto gear.
Got some pants on.
All right, well, enough about your fucking uniform. What do you got going on in your life? You sling a dick like it's hell?
Shit, bro. I don't know what's on your life.
All right, I'm always good for that. You ready for it?
Yeah, what's going on in your neighborhood, man?
Sling a dick like it's going out of style. Jason, if I tell him my show.
Give him this family.
Excellent. I'm Rabbi Rothschild. I stream my life 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year for work peace. I've been doing so since the pandemic. 3.5 years. We've seen the death of a queen, the birth of AI, the coronation of a king, and everything between. If I may ask, have you ever seen the movie The Truman Show or the television show Big Brother?
No, but I'm aware of both of them.
Essentially, it's just someone whose title's on camera. If you didn't know, this magazine stated in 2018 that data at Open Petroleum is its number one source, more valuable than food, water, gold, and petroleum, and I have more data archived on the internet than anyone ever, which may make me an actual person someday. And when that happens, Grant, I'm gonna make you. I'm gonna make your friends, your family, independently wealthy if you're not already. I'm gonna make sure that you have generational wealth if you don't already, and I want you to be able to start charities and organizations of your own. How does that sound? Fuck yeah, it sounds good. All right, well, you're in for the ride. Well, as I just said, data is Earth's number one resource, and I have more data archived on the internet than any person ever. So instead of wearing a crypto dollars or $100 million, I could wear just like car driver or F1 driver, a get up that has all kinds of brands on it, and get $1 billion for each brand. Endorsements are a pretty easy way to make money in today's day and age, especially as an influencer. But I influence in many different ways, including always being live. No other influencer does that. I'll be the most famous person on earth. Additionally, I talk about things to improve the world. like ending world hunger through the use of technology such as agriculture drones, floating greenhouses, saltwater greenhouses, hydroponics, vertical farming, cloud seeding. We want to help end world thirst through the use of technology as well. Sponsored by cryptocurrency that's worth about $100 billion. One of the things that we do is we build wells in developing nations like Nigeria for the less fortunate. Continue with those types of projects. I'm an advocate for the Lifestyle program and the most important technology where we pump earth seawater onto land and make it drinkable. Do you agree, Grant?
I don't know, man. That was a lot to take in.
And Big Dog. I talk about futurism. I'm a futurist. I think like anti-gravity, antimatter travel, faster than like artificial narrow intelligence, artificial general intelligence, artificial students. I talk about Santa Claus, replicators, interstellar travel. I talk about colonies, space, elevators, space tours, terraforming of other planets. About things like nuclear fission, nuclear fusion. I talk about things like geothermal power, tidal, like even gravity batteries, de-extinction. People don't know this, but the first successful de-extinction in the year 2003, Irene Ibex, which was in northern Spain, southern France. Fast forward to the year 2020, this is founded known as Colossal Biospheric. They've made it their goal that within the years, or by the year 2020, to reintroduce the woolly mammoth Arctic Circle utilizing Asian surrogates. I think this is an ongoing goal, the reintroduction of the woolly the Tasmanian tiger, followed by the dodo bird. I think this is just really exciting opportunity to be able to witness. Additionally, I talk about things that may benefit you, your friends, your family. When you were born, Grant, the average life expectancy for you or someone like you is probably about age 80. I want to increase your life expectancy to age 100, 120 through the use of technologies such as oxygen therapy, human stem cells, eugenics, things like opiates, peptides, cold shock therapy, testosterone replacement therapy, red light therapy, perhaps ambrosia therapy to get you 120 years old. But then at 120 years old, you may say, Rabbi, back in 2025, everything that you said seemed like it was a fantasy, but it all came true. But my body's starting to break down. What's the next plan? And this is, again, consent. If you want, you should be able to have this choice. But if you want to take advantage of it, you might be able to use the type of technology known as mind technology, where, with your consent, we scan your brain into a computer like a CAT scanner and MRI, and where every atom is in your central nervous system, your peripheral nervous system, for later download as an android, an avatar, a cyborg, a cybernetic being, a clone of yourself, a robot, a being, whatever you want to be. But it's what I'm saying to you, Grant, is that you may have a future of digital immortality. What are your thoughts? What'd you say, Big?
I said it sounds pretty good to me, Rob.
Fuck yeah, it does. That's what I do. I literally watch just about every moment of the last 4 years, going back to the pandemic. On my streams, I'm live on 20 YouTube streams simultaneously. If you look in the upper left corner of this Discord, you see a red circle that says 24/7. You put that link into Google or a browser, you'll see more lives for a single individual simultaneously that you've ever seen. You can watch life in 360 degrees, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 305 days a year. Additionally, I have over 100 other YouTube channels, over 200 Instagram accounts, over 500 Twitch accounts, over 1,000 TikTok accounts, over 2,000 Twitter accounts, over 5,000 Blue Sky accounts, and over 10,000 Kick accounts. I have more social media than anybody in global history. How's that, sir?
How do you make so many?
Because how do I do it? Just manual create the account.
You didn't even like. How do you know so much about so many different things, man?
I'm professional. I've launched apps on the App Store independent, and so that's given me the ability to become a matter of many trades.
What's your biggest app?
I've signed non-disclosure agreements, like
Gotcha.
household names in
Bigger lobby boy?
household names in some major cities in the United States.
Soccer
Okay.
for real.
Yeah.
So
Weird.
What's your favorite album?
That's not real.
It's a good question. Maybe, if we're talking non-religious and things like that, Philip K. Dick.
Yeah, not religious.
K. Dick, he wrote Blade Runner and Android Dream. The name's escaping me, but he wrote Man in the High Castle. He wrote a lot of science fiction that have been made into movies. Let me list of Philip K. Dick quotes.
Yeah, I'm looking it up.
So,
I like his name.
okay, so The Android's Dream of Electric, Man in the High Castle, Ubik, A Scanner Darkly, that was a movie. Flowing Like Tears, the policeman said. It's a strange alternative history where the Nazis and the Japanese won World War II, and the States has been taken over, and the West Coast belongs to Japan, and the Midwest and the East Coast belongs to Germany. Valis, Radio Free Advertisement, The Penultimate Truth, The Collected Stories of Philip K. Dick. He's written others too. Let's see here. Just really interesting. I mean, aside from him, more mainstream that I like, Mark Twain. I like Charles Dickens. I like Fyodor Dostoevsky. I like Jane Austen. I like. Let's see. So I know he read. What? Jane era, like the Victorian era. I'm not familiar with it. Perhaps I can't really hear what you're saying. The Jane era.
Jane Eyre.
One moment, because I may have misspoken. What is that book that I got? Blade Runner. Blade Runner. Hold on. It was Rothschild and David. Oh, but it's based on the book by Philip K. Dick. So yeah, basically a lot of sci-fi novels, sci-fi movies have been based on, and I just think it's crazy that he did this in like the 1950s. He was onto something. There's another one. So The Born Identity. The book was written by Robert Liddy. And that's pretty fascinating to me. You know who I didn't say, but I do. I like Stephen King. He has written Baby.
Get the stocks together.
All right, well, it's not hard to do. But and I'll tell you what stocks will do in 10 years. In 10 years and 100 years. All right. So,
he's a fucking loser.
sorry.
They'll find him. All right, they don't smack you in your face. This is
Just
the
one.
soul of the world. And for you, that guy, chewing Adderall and typing into a MacBook Air, fuck you. That guy will smack you.
I want to check his stuff. Right.
Trying his best, and you have to describe that way. It's a different thing than someone who hit free throws. It's a different thing.
You were just talking about yourself.
Yeah.
I think it was Curtis Williams, someone like that. So it may not have been Curtis, but it was someone like that. Wasn't it champion, but he wasn't European or world. But it was
All right. So I think a good investment that people are somewhat sleeping on is Palantir. So that's the Peter Thiel company. If you're not familiar with that, is they're basically building all the data of the world on individuals. So Palantir. So I think that's an excellent investment. OpenAI, when it has an IPO, I think will be the biggest IPO perhaps in global history. So that would be a huge one. And then Tesla would certainly be an excellent investment. Those are great the next 10 years, but for the next 100 years. So if you know it's like your kind of idea, the Skynet is going to be built on some different systems, and I believe that it's going to be nuclear powered by Siemens, the German company. So I would invest in them. I would IENEMS. I would invest. So it's going to be powered by Siemens. The actual hardware, I believe, is going to be Samsung. The operating system is going to be Microsoft. So the data is going to cloud-based system would be Amazon. So Amazon would be an excellent investment, and the data will be managed by Salesforce. So those 5 companies, I think, would be excellent investment in the next 100 years. Are they going to double overnight? No, but they're excellent long-term investments. Another excellent long-term investment. Well, again, it'd be an AI, but specifically because they're going to launch a web browser that's going to break browsers, and eventually they will take market in the browser arena, especially in Europe. Basically, the European Union you guys have a monopoly on everything. 2 websites in the world, which are Google and YouTube. You have dominant market on the browser that everyone uses, Google Chrome, and you're the number one ad company in the world with Google AdSense. So you can't have all of these monopolies. So you're going to have to get rid of something, and they're going to get rid of their browser. Not get rid of it, but it's going to lose its market share. And OpenAI, once they launch their browser, it'll be integrated with AI, and AI will eventually be the dominant browser. What did you say, Big Dog?
I said, do you think we'll get an AI operating system?
Well, I mean, we already have that to some extent with Microsoft Pilot and Google with Gemini, and
I mean, like the operating system around it. We're not using like Windows or Mac or Linux. That was that kind of like had assumption, like outdated assumptions. Like
Yeah.
it's an operating system built
You're
in around.
I get what you're saying. You're seeing the primitive versions of it right now. So Windows, Microsoft will improve Copilot so that it's fully integrated in every aspect of that now. Google, the same with Gemini, Apple, with not just Siri, but more Apple intelligence. So the entire operating system will eventually be quote unquote AI. It's just not really being utilized that way right now. It's learning. It's early. So give it time and AI will be seamlessly integrated into your operating system as well.
The strongest available protection from quantum threat.
I'm not trying to interrupt you.
Yeah.
Oh, really? That's really cool.
All your data is still being handled by your internet provider.
Are you still built, bro? Workout?
Oh yeah, baby. Well, no. I'm just no. I mean, I live stream. That's really my primary focus runner. I'm an avid. I like it. One of the first things that I do when I go viral is I have to go on major day, and that's
Right, so this is nothing else So, how do you repeat go back?
yeah. So, well, I've streamed as far south as San Diego, west of the Pacific Ocean, as far as desert and mountains. I've streamed this and Disneyland, everywhere in Southern California. And to answer your question, it's really different. So at times I've had a Verizon, like a family plan just for me. So that's four different phone lines monthly. It's like $100 a month to do that. Really wasn't that much traction when I would do IR. It's really difficult to do IR, and frankly, my vision is great. So the glare of the phone makes it very, very difficult. When right, and you're trying to read comments in the far between. So I find it much easier to stream from one location, just because that's where my Wi-Fi is. Now, if I do stream outside, I can use GoPros and basically just upload the data if I need to. Or I stream like on Instagram. I just do Instagram lives and stream those. I've also done it on TikTok, but TikTok really saved the data the way that I would like it to. It's more manual. It's more manual to have to be able to save it. A certain amount of followers to be able to live stream. So I do. You have to have like 1,000 followers or something. On Instagram, you have to have 1,000 followers. Instagram, just you have to have 1,000 followers. TikTok, you have to have 1,000 followers. So long as you meet those thresholds, you're able to or I should say, you're not upload. You're able to go live. Rumble, you don't have to have any followers going live, so long as your account gets verified. Just Twitter, you can go live with no one following you. You can also, if you have an iOS device, a Twitter live or a Twitter video space where people actually talk with you. So frankly, like when I do live streams, I don't really pay attention to what I want to pay attention to, which is my Discord. Those people are. So my Instagram accounts, I might have I have 10,000 people following me on Instagram, and I might get like 5 people who come to an hour. It's really not that great. Same with Twitch. I have 50,000 people following me, and if I can that account, I might get 5 people over the hour. That's just how media is. Unless the top 1% of social media influencers who have consistent, huge following that you basically paid for you're not going to get anybody in your chair, or very few people. So it's just, but I have done it, and I do have, but you run into issues with connectivity. You also run into issues with the heat of the device. You run into issues with batteries. You run into issues with lighting. You run into issues with other people who try to steal your shit. You've got to really be aware of what's going on, and it's risky. It's much riskier. I mean, I know I've been in downtown LA and chased by people because I've got like $2,000 worth of fucking equipment. I've got like 3 phones, 3 iPhones going, lighting. So those are things that you want to avoid. I know the building a bunch of GoPros, and I was playing the guitar, just not like busking. I wasn't doing it for money or anything. I was just doing it just to have a cool shot. And I had these 4 guys who walked by me once and like said some shit to me, and then they walked by me again, and then they walked by me a third time, and I could hear them saying, "All right, once we come back, we'll get him next time." I'm like, "Oh, shit, I better get out of here." It just, when you're an individual, you are a target, especially with all the electronic equipment. So it's just safer.
Come on, Rabbi, that's why you gotta keep a strap on you at all times to sign those people out.
Yeah, I mean, it's 4-on-1, and at least in California.
Like a 9mm, I mean, you can sign those fuckers out real quick.
Yeah, I mean, try getting a concealed carry in California. It's very different.
Everybody else does it.
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to hurt anybody either, and right, no, you're right. So why even put myself into that kind of position? What up, Black? How you living, pimp? Black, can you hear me? Do you speak English? Can you hear me? Big Dog, you there? Black, are you there? Can you hear me, big man? Black, how'd you find out about me? How'd your day go, my friend? Yeah. Well, welcome, Black. I hope you're having a good day. Go pound sand. Yeah, it happens. I'll check.
I told you, I'll be joining free for that.
It's great. I'm enjoying it.
If you had an estimate.
Yeah, so let's just say recently, I get maybe 100 people a month, more than that. Maybe 100, yeah, about 100 people a month. I shouldn't say that. People a month stay. I might get 300 who join a month, but I kick out a lot of people. I kick out everybody who's under 21, under 18. So you're not be here, not be 18. And if I talk to them and they don't talk, like if I ask them how old they are and they just leave, then that's a pretty good sign that they're not 18. I kick those people out. And then people leave on their own because you can only have a certain number of boards. You can only have 100. Sometimes people out. So, any question? Stay now. Well, it's about to stay. It's like if they go. I mean, if you want to know, maybe in a day, I might get that's a little high. Maybe 15 will come and go, 5 or 10 of them, and that's great for me. I mean,
Oh, you like servers?
yeah. Do you have servers?
Oh,
Yeah, they're in,
like I do, but
and no one no one joined, right?
wait, no, never mind.
Exactly. They're incredible to grow. They're so. I would never think that they would be. You're not allowed to self-promote generally other people's servers, so you can't really use that platform that well to promote yourself. And I mean, just imagine you meet somebody randomly on social media, and you send them this link. Not everybody has Discord. In fact, most people on the internet have never heard of Discord. When's the last about Discord and or social media? Like, it's not like, oh, follow us, you know, NBC Nightly News. Follow us on Twitter, Facebook, and Discord. They never say Discord. It's a smaller social media, and it's not that well. It's smaller. It's that well known. So, and not a lot of people use it. And then on top of that, Discord makes it very difficult to network. You can only have 1,000 friends on Discord. Now, most people be like, "Well, I don't need that many friends," you know. But there are some of us, and I'm included in this, who get like maybe dozens of friend requests a day, and so who I accept as a friend, not, and then on top of the same ability to like see who's following whom and all the other things that happen on social media, they really keep it very privatized, and just having a Discord in itself is really, it's so difficult. To ask someone from Twitter to come join my Discord and they don't know me is so hard. But they do it. So I'm really proud, of the 2,200 people or so that we have in here. It's been an uphill climb. I mean, I haven't had the Discord the whole time I've been streaming. It's only about a year and a half old. So I wish I when I first started streaming, but live and learn. That's it 2,000, something like that. Let me check the exact number. 2,000. That's okay. 2,196. So like today, we've grown by like 6 people. So today have stayed, and that's great. That person who just came and left, that happens. Now there's also a strategy that I use that I only started doing it recently, and it's not. You try a lot of things to see what works. So 6 million people, and there's like this launched in May called Steal a Brain Rot, which is something like something. And one of the things that you can do is trade something in this game. I don't know. I don't play it. I don't know anything about it. But I do know it's a very big server. So if I put one of my accounts in that server, I'll get in a given day like 50 people who message me for whatever Portuguese. And I don't know Portuguese out. I don't know any Portuguese. So I will just send them links that say, if you're an adult server. And from that, when that gets going, I get like 25 people a day. So it depends on how I myself. But then a lot of the people who come, they aren't just not 18. They're not even. It's like, where are your parents? You should not be having a computer. And so all those people get paid. But then you get people who come in here and go, like, yeah, 22, 25, whatever. And that's cool. But, I wish there were a setting that you could just click it and just not have any interaction with anyone who's underage. And it's not that I'm kids. I think that future. But a lot of times people come in here and ask me about love advice. They want to talk about history, or they want to talk about dating or whatever for children. And I get people who come in here and just use language that is not for children's ears generally. So, yeah.
I'm curious, what do you have to offer, Rabbi?
Oh, tons. I get people in here every day.
Give me the spiel.
Well, okay. What do you want? You want a long-term relationship, or you just want a fuck buddy?
Fuck buddies never don't hit it, if it does.
I've utilized this strategy before. I started streaming, and was had a normal job of working. And, I strategy to actually be able to sociologists from Tinder on Tinder. Actually, women who work for Match.com who are sociologists. So I know that this works. And it works better than it's like a wanted person on all of Tinder. Now, at that time, I basically used some broken phones or what do I want to call it? Rooted phones, Android phones. They fixed some of these patches. Basically, if you want to just do it the fashion way, you download the apps. You download Tinder, Bumble if you want, or Twitter. But the ones are Twitter, Bumble, um, Plenty of Fish, OkCupid, and there's another one that's escaping me, but those are fine. Those four are fine. Hold on, I'll think of it and say anything. No, absolutely not. Hinge. So there's Hinge, Bumble, Tinder, Plenty of Fish, and OkCupid. And you want just a fling, or you say I'm looking for a serious relationship that may result in marriage. I want to have children. I am a professional. I enjoy water skiing and surfing and playing golf and running, cooking, and you take 5 really good pics of yourself, and not just random selfies. They should be they should be recent. They should be very clear quality. If you need a friend or a professional photographer to take these, you should invest in it. But you can do it yourself with just the timer on your phone. You want to make sure the lighting's really good. You're going to take a picture of you outside, at least one, doing an active activity. So like surfing's great, or golf is great, running's great. If they want to see that you're active doing something, they want to see you, your home. They want to see what it's like where they may live someday. So a picture there is fine. They want to see you perhaps doing another hobby or with friends. They want to see that you have a social life. They want to see you. This is a good one. Is with an animal. Even if you don't have an animal, dog, cat, or whatever, go ask somebody. Hey, can I take a picture with your dog? See that you're an animal person. It shows that you're a good cuddle. And then finally, just one of you relaxing, basically. Like if you get those photos, it doesn't have to be that, but those are really good pictures to have. A great headshot great in there as well. But if you have those pictures and they're not overwhelming, it's not all you with your friends, or it's not all doing one activity. I mean, that should be a really well-rounded person. And then it's a numbers game. So, and I told this to the girl who I dated from Match.com, because she told me, like, behind the scenes, every person gets a score of how many people are like swiping, and my number higher than they've ever seen. And she wanted to know how I did it. And basically, I told her that there was a way, basically, group advice uh, um, basically created a back and into Tinder, and you could, with the push of one button, like 256 women at once, anywhere in the world, which is a huge advantage on anybody. And so, where I'm in LA, I just put it where I wanted to date women, and then just the button and 256 likes, 256, and I just have to do that like 5 times, like maybe even less than maybe 4 times a day, and then I just watch my phone just ding 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 ding, just all these girls like right, and then from there it was just about messaging them, and the girls who I like, I mean, they're all gorgeous, 10s. They're all 10s. Like I wouldn't myself. I'm not gonna waste time on anybody who I don't think who every single one of my friends would say that girl's fucking hot as fuck or hot as fuck. Oh yeah, definitely, dude. My bio, I lose track at 40. So I mean, I've done quite well for myself, and so interact with the person. And some people wanna. They really want to get to know you before they go to dinner. They just want to get right. No, these were girls for long term. But then I came up with a strategy. So a few years went by, and I was doing a lot of things. But then when I want to do, I buy these on Amazon, but they're others. Basically, things automatically touch something on your. But you can also download as well. But it was basically something that would touch something on a phone. So it would always swipe on chicks for me. And I've integrated their apps no longer allow you to only swipe right. They'll ban you for that. But at the time, they didn't. So I just swipe single chick and then see what would come into my inbox. All right. So then when I just would want to hook the chicks and like literally this is the absolute best move I ever had. And by the way, I'm not just talking on the app. I'm a member of seduction communities. These are artists, layers around the United States. So what we do is we'll meet at somebody's location, have some drinks, and go out and basically sarge or go out as a group and pick up who can get the most amount of numbers in a given night. I mean, in the past, it's been a lot of fun. These guys, if they're watching this, they've been wonderful. And then it's just a competition. Who can get the most amount of numbers and who can have the most amount of closes. Anyway, so I do know that this advice works, but at least on Tinder and those kind of apps, when I would just want to hook up with you, there was one phrase that I would use. Like I try to, like, hey, what are your interests? And all that bullshit. Like everybody does that, and I get responses with that. But if I just wanted to hook, I would write. Drop your digits to get jackhammered. And man, I got numbers crazy that way. It's so fucking to the point. It's so fucking to the point. It's like this jackhammer. Like, you mean you're just gonna pound me out? Fuck yeah, that's what you want. That's why you're on fucking app. And I would get just like crazy. So, to
be fair, so is it easy, like in LA, like to?
Absolutely. Yeah, people don't beat around the bush. There are people who want long-term relationships, and that's cool. There are other apps that I use for that, but they're really Jewish apps. So I mean, they're different kind of apps. But we have J Swipe and well, they're for Jewish people.
Oh, like literally for okay.
Yeah, there's like farmers only and mingle. Those are for other people. We have J Swipe and J Date and Salyut Sinai. Those are the big three. So those are different.
What if I'm not a Jew? Like, what I want to date a Jew?
Yeah, generally, I mean, you have to put your stuff in there. Usually, Jews just wait Jews who are on those, who are on the,
When are you
I can't convert you. The rabbi can. You have to sit before what's called a Beit Din, House of Judgment. But I could guide you to your local Orthodox rabbi who could put you in local Beit Din. That's about all I can. That's about all any rabbi could do. And the chief rabbi of Israel can't necessarily make Jew. They have to sit before the three rabbis. The three rabbis are Shomer Shabbat, who we work with basically over the course of two. We would your lifestyle. You'd have to live in the community. You'd have to become basically Shomer Shabbat. So you'd attend service every Saturday, other times and holidays and such. You might have to change your schedule to leave early on Friday. You'd have to keep kosher. So that's a whole element to it, and you have to keep family purity. So, I mean, if you're willing to do those kinds of things, there's no guarantee though. So, but you just that's the Orthodox. Right? Correct.
Wait, I just thought about that. 40 something, 42 Jews.
I've lost track.
See?
No, I'm serious. Like times before I go to bed, I sit and think about all the chicks, and I lose track of 42. I fall asleep before them, so I think about, and that doesn't count, and that doesn't count chicks who have just blown me. I'm talking like that. That number is, I would say, because there was a period in my, I wouldn't have said I would just get blown by him, and that number, well, because because I was younger, and so like that wasn't something that like I didn't want to have chicks. It was too young, but I had chicks, so tons. I mean, included, but yeah, like I said, I lose track of 42. But someone like you, all you have to do, it's really fun. You get on the app, you take 5, you write a good profile of yourself, and then just play the thing with the chick in the chat. And you've got to understand, a good-looking girl. Well, okay, so
it's different from the pictures, the nice profile, all that, like, sure. But it's like spontaneous or flirty text. That's kind of where it's like,
dog, it's a numbers game. So you have to understand, like, if you've ever seen a hot chick's phone, these girls would show me their phones of Tinder, and it's just like guy after guy after guy after guy. Like, and I did the same with Tinder myself. I had girl after girl after girl. I even said I felt like I beat Tinder, like if it were a game. Like, every single record you could think of in Southern California, in my inbox, and you just recognize it's a numbers game. So you just go and you find the hottest chicks who you've naturally chicked, and then if you're looking for a relationship, you say, I mean, like it depends. If you're the one who's initiating, which is a good thing to do, you can ask, what are your interests, or are you interested in dinner, or are you interested in going to the beach, or are you interested in playing golf, or I see you have a dog, what's its name? Like you just want to make some kind of talk with them to get them a little comfortable with you, and then they're in your inbox, and then you can start going at it and making plans. And I don't recommend, like, there are some dates that I don't like. One of the worst.
That's a good question. What are the best types of dates?
Yeah, so getting drinks is a really solid one because that doesn't put too much emphasis. If you don't like each other, you can just have a drink, and you don't have to sit down there and spend hundreds of dollars on this chick. Getting coffee is fine if you want to date, just get coffee and meet each other. They're two solid ones. Having girls fine though as well. Those are the kind of traditional ones I would say. Drinks, dinner, and coffee. Um, the, the ones that you definitely want to avoid are movies. That's because you can't talk, you can't get to know each other. That's a perfect second date. Movies are really good second date. Other things that I enjoy, just going to a park, going to walk. Those are fine. Thing that's public and not too intimidating. So the key is public. The first date, you want to make sure that, and that's really for your safety, but also the girl's safety. She's not going to want to go to your house or something like that if she's not looking to just crack. She makes sure that it's a safe environment and that really it's a test. You socially acceptable, not just to her, but does she like being around you? Does she like the way you two look together? She wants how you order. She wants to see if you um, uh, initiative. She wants to see how assertive you are. She wants to see if you're going to hold the door for her. She wants to see if you're going to pay. She wants to see what kind of watch you have and what kind of how you dress and what kind of shoes you wear. These are all things she's going to be judging you on, and the same thing you're going to be judging her on. How her hair is, how her face is, what kind of makeup she wears, what kind of conversation she has. Those kind of things are just things that people do. But I want to make sure that's done in a place where you can talk. That's why coffee, getting drinks is a fine place to do it. When I say getting drinks, not necessarily a dance club. That's really, it can be okay, but it's really loud. You want to be able to get to know each other. Dance club is great for a third date, I would say. It doesn't have to be, but like that's when you're cracking. I mean, really, the old adage is this is pretty conservative nowadays to say, but because people just fuck on the first date. So really, first date is get to know each other. Second date is get comfortable with each other, and third is when you're gonna have sex with the person. And if it doesn't happen after the third date, doesn't mean it's not gonna happen, but the odds decrease quickly thereafter because it's like, okay, how much time who is waiting for marriage, or which is totally fine, or they're very conservative.
What do you think about that? Marriage? Like, what do you think about that? Like, if a girl tells me on the first date, like, I'm waiting for marriage, like, what would you say?
That's absolutely fine. Great. Wonderful. That's ideal. If a girl is a virgin, then that's how people generally live for thousands of years. So, okay, basically, once you get to know her, so that means he's I was in his wedding, and he married a virgin who was 6 years old. She was a 36 virgin, which is great. And she had some. She would kiss, and that's fine. So you want to get to understand how comfortable someone is with someone. I mean, I've been with girls who say they're waiting for marriage. Okay, but they'll blow you on the first night. So, float your boat. You want to see how comfortable they get. There are some girls who might. It's rare, but they may against vaginal intercourse, but they're open to anal intercourse. It just depends how But and then, as I said, I was just saying, usually in those situations, you need three things. You need a ring, a date, and a hall. Basically, you need the symbol that you're gonna be getting married, the ring. You need the date that you're gonna marry this person, and a hall to have it. I'm not just an independent, but most likely like a libertarian communist. I feel as if we should have maximum amount of rights, and that our needs should be taken care of by some central state. And that's not even like a thing in the United States, but that's what I am.
Yeah.
I'm sure you agree with that too. Why play this game of right versus left when I could say to you, hey, how would you like it if like all the healthcare was paid for and the education was paid for, but you still had freedom of speech and freedom of religion and all the other things you want? Wouldn't you want that? That sounds like a fantasy world, but doesn't that sound good?
I suppose. I mean, yeah. I mean, I don't know much about it.
Okay,
I really don't.
sure.
You didn't give me a spiel on it.
Yeah, I mean, so libertarianism is basically when it gets down to brass tacks, maximum rights for the individual. So what does that mean? It means that you should have perhaps freedom of privacy if you want, freedom of speech, freedom of religion, freedom of the press, freedom to assemble. These are all ideas that have been codified in the Bill of Rights, generally within the United States. And then communism, which is where you don't own anything. Everything essentially belongs to the state. But that's okay. If everything is really good, then who cares about ownership? You have to understand that when you get into ownership, at the very end, you get into where we're moving toward, or really where we're in now, which is late stage capitalism, where a very few amount of people own the majority of all the services and of all the land and of all the opportunities. It's an inevitability with capitalism, and I'm not necessarily a fan of that. The reason why I'm a fan of more a socialist or communist system is because there is a safety net. So, like, if something happens to you, Jason, where you get hurt or your parents get hurt or something like that, under capitalism, you become homeless. You have no food and nowhere to live. That's the capitalist system. Under communism, you have a place to live, you have food, you have shelter, you have health care. It's all taken care of by the government. Sounds a lot better, doesn't it? Now, what you don't have under communism, generally, are the ultra wealthy. Go ahead.
So like, how? Okay, like the government pays for all of these things, but like, where's the money coming from?
It's a great question. It can come from a lot of different places. Natural resources, so the sale of natural resources it can come from, or people's combined efforts. So, for instance, this is how a lot of things in the United States were created. You have like basically like you have a fire department that's built of volunteers. There are many volunteer fire departments in the United States that are based on people's goodwill. And they have nothing else to do in the society, so they enjoy doing it. They enjoy helping other people. You can have it basically people who, when you have nothing to do and there's a big project going on in your town, there are people who will volunteer to be able to help that project. So, like for instance, if you are having to build a, let's just say a road. Okay, well, we're going to build a road. All right, well, there are people who want to sit on their ass all day and do nothing. That's cool. Or there are people who will build the road, and then the people in society will thank them for their efforts. And these are just basically how the United States ran in its earliest days.
Rabbi.
Yes, sir, I'm back. I don't know what's going on. You're good. You're good. If I ever cut out, I'll be back within seconds, or maybe a minute or two long. If it's ever any longer than that, then I kick on a GoPro. But it's in the 4 years I've been doing this. We had a power outage like 3 years ago, and fortunately I had a GoPro going simultaneously, so that was fine. It doesn't happen very often. If it ever does, whatever. Okay, so you have a system though where the central state is able to provide for the needs of the people. So okay, let's take for instance, like, and perhaps everybody has a role. And so what would the role be? Well, if you're a cook and you enjoy cooking, well then you may be asked by the state to work for 4 hours in a kitchen a couple times a week to be able to create food for the general public, and you'll volunteer your time to be able to do that. Do you make any money doing it? No. But it also, you don't need money. Money has no worth in your society. Your house is taken care of, your roads are taken care of, your services are taken care of. Everybody volunteers a little bit, and you have the benefit of the masses. Now, what ends up happening, as you can imagine, is some people don't want to pull their weight, and other people take advantage of other people under the system. It's inherent. It's happened every single time communism has been tried. However, on a small scale, it works very well and very efficiently. And what do I mean by that? If you have a group of like 100 people, and let's just put them in the middle of, I don't know, in the middle of California, where like few people live, the Central Valley, let's say, and you have one person who's maybe, let's say, 2 people who are doctors, and 2 people who are police officers, and maybe 4 people who are fire people, and 2 nurses, and 5 cooks, and 3 teachers, and you do this, and then you have children and everything. You have everything that you need out of the society. You don't need central bankers. You don't necessarily need defense contractors. There's a lot of things that you don't need. It works on a really great scale, on a small scale. Now, when you start to get into, what about creation of planes? And what about creating of a dam? and these kinds of things. Okay, I understand. So there are ways that the country, whatever country we're talking about, let's just say the United States, could pay for these things. Many times this could be done through tariffs. And you're hearing a lot in the news about tariffs today, but you should understand that they're not working the way that they should be working. Basically, with a tariff based system, ideally, you shouldn't have to pay any taxes. Anything that is exported, you can make money on, and anything that's imported has a tariff on it. And the tariff pays for the planes and the dams and the roads. So basically, people who want something that is that is more desirable, let's say they want a foreign car, well, you can have a foreign car. That's fine. But there's a tariff on it. So now you're going to have to pay twice what a normal car would be. If you want that nicer car or whatever, then you're just going to have to pay for it. Now, this is a system where it's somewhat socialist that I'm describing because under a pure communist society, you don't own anything. And so, but that doesn't necessarily mean that you can't have a system where people volunteer their time for whatever it is to be able, for the good of the whole. What ends up happening, though, in every single communist system is you have a small group at the top that end up controlling the masses. It's somewhat inevitable. And I think even that is a better system than what we currently have. Basically, if we have human nature that is inherently somewhat evil, where no matter what system you're in, you're going to have people who are going to try to take advantage of other people. Would you rather have a system like capitalism where there's no safety net and you have a small group of people at the top who own everything below them? Or would you rather have a communist system where small people at the top control everything, but there's a safety net? So there's education's paid for, and people's roads are taken care of, and their housing's taken care of. Well, if we're talking about an entirely corrupt system where somebody has to be at the top and somebody has to be at the bottom, the one with the safety net is the most beneficial system. So I'm for safety nets, and at least in the United States, that kind of talk has been very controversial, particularly like 70 years ago. But I don't feel it should be. Um, I don't I don't necessarily have a need for bombs. I don't have a need for submarines. I don't have an like personally. I don't have one. I understand why they're created and such. But I think that people, if needed, can live in small communities very peacefully. Now, are you going to have a state that is able to create the ability to have tankers and transportation and all of those things? Yeah, that's a possibility as well. So how would we do it in the United States? It's not going to happen, but how would we do it? It's really difficult because we already have somewhat of a capitalist system, but we have somewhat of a socialist system as well. We have socialist systems like Medicaid, Medicare, Social Security, disability. Those kind of things are already integrated into our system. The public school system. So what do we do? Well, we basically would give people a universal basic income. So it's known as a UBI. Everybody gets a stipend in the United States. Um, this has been um, tested in some places in the United States. I know it was tested in Long Beach, California, about 3 years ago, where you just give people an extra $1,000 and see what they do with it. And it turns out that their kids become better educated and that there's less crime and people are generally happier. I mean, that's what you would expect to happen. So where do we get that money from? Well, with AI and robotics, they basically can replace everything, just about. And so at a certain point, people aren't going to have a role. The only people who will have a role, perhaps, are the programmers of this type of technology and the leaders of the society. Those are the only people who are really going to have jobs. You won't have cooks anymore. You won't have house builders anymore. Everything will be done with robotics. And at a certain point, there's not even really a need for money because everything's already taken care of. So, how would we do it in the
Isn't
United
that
States?
kind of boring though?
I don't think there's anything boring about a world without homelessness. I think that's a beautiful thing. Or a world without hunger or thirst. I think these are.
Yeah, sure. But there's no progression. There's no role. There's no purpose. There's nothing to do. Isn't that kind of boring?
No, there most certainly is. That's what you become artists and you become sculptors and you become game enthusiasts and you spend time with your family and you write books and literature and you basically create a renaissance world where people are rewarded for that which they can create within the arts and sports, but basically like things that people do that aren't jobs. When all the jobs are taken by robots, then people will focus on humans.
At some point, and you've got to think very carefully about what powers you give.
Yeah, but like,
That will also make
okay, like, do you
that,
think
that will also
like, I'm
make
sure like a subset of people will do those things that you're describing, but don't you think that most people probably wouldn't? They would just kind of, because like if you look at today, for example, like people just kind of like they'll sit on TikTok and like run away, for example. That's like the average person. Like even my parents, like they'll just get on Facebook and like scroll and just run away. Like, do you think the average person is really gonna be from their own inner desire gonna be like becoming some sort of like great artist or writer or something?
Yeah, so the society that in which we currently live does not reward people generally for those types of ideals, but it would change. So in the future, when robots produce everything that's mass consumed, human innovation, things that are created by humans, will be seen as having a greater value. So people will long to go see a symphony that's performed by humans because robots we know, have the ability to do all of those things anyway. We get robots 90% of our days. It's finally our time to be able to experience essentially human art. Now, your parents, they're just scrolling on Facebook all day. And I understand that. A lot of people's families are. Right now, the technology isn't that good, but once you're able to live in a virtual reality, I mean, very similar to what we're doing, where you're able to communicate with people all over the world, all over the country, but not just, the way that we're doing it, but imagine we could put on VR goggles or have augmented reality and we could play games with each other. I mean, we can play games with each other in Discord, but the games suck. If the games were really good, this would be a lovely, even more lovely of an environment where you could just go basically anywhere virtually immediately and have get with people and have fun with people. That's the ideal world. So yeah, I know what you're saying. It's just scrolling or whatever, but if we made the technology better, it would be much more exciting.
And it's not just for them.
Yeah, maybe it would be fun, but like it wouldn't have inherent meaning, right? Like playing video games is fun, but it's not the same as like, oh, I need to go to work to provide for my family and like be able to, like make sure my kids have a good life like that. Doing that every day would give you a lot more like a sense of fulfillment than okay, everything's taken care of. Now you just play for your whole life and you die.
Well, I mean, generally today, a parent doesn't spend more than an hour with their child over the course of a day. And that's planned. So when the child awakes, they have to get ready for school, and they have to get ready the parent has to get ready for work, and they take their kid to school, or the school bus takes them to school. All right, so they maybe spent, I don't know, 10, 15 minutes together, but they're not really communicating. Then the kid has practice after school or some type of extracurricular. They come home and they have homework to do or whatever. It's maybe the parent is working two jobs, so they're not even able to spend any time with their kid. Now, if we remove the job aspect of it, the parent can become much more engaged with the child. So when the child's going to school, either virtually or in person or whatever the system is, the parent is able to ask the child how they're doing, talk to the child's teacher, engage with the child, spend a lot of time ensuring that the child has a beneficial future. I mean, we can really look at this in a culture of like a tribal culture where they don't have jobs to go off to. The way that a tribe works generally is you have two parents. It depends on the tribe, but that raise the child. The fathers may go out and hunt, and they may take the child out with them to teach them how to do it. The mothers stay and nurture and raise children, but they're with the child for like 24 hours every single day. And the bond that gets built there is much stronger than what we have in the current age. And you're saying like, well, what is like what desires will people have, or what will motivate people? Instead of previously getting that paycheck so that they can live to get the next paycheck, a person will be motivated by seeing their child succeed in school and in extracurriculars and whatever other things that they desire. Basically, they'll be able to spend.
But there's no like why does it matter if they succeed in school or extracurriculars or whatever? Why does it even matter at that point? Because their existence is just going to be playing video games or something similar, right? And I agree. Like, yeah, it'd be cool if you get to spend more time with your kids. You can teach them how to hunt and fish and all this stuff. But again, these are that can go in many branches. But this is all entertainment. We're just gonna entertain ourselves. And honestly, the way I would see it working is a much more dystopian than people are actually going to be doing activities. I think it's mostly actually going to be people kind of hitting low effort dopamine buttons or something. Versus even today, most people are doing that all day versus playing some complex video game or something.
Actually,
most people take the easiest route of dopamine.
Actually, no, that's true. That's true, and that's what will be in the future. The ideal environment of a future is basically being able to play games with your friends all the time and getting dopamine hits from it in a healthy way. That's what everybody wants to do. Everybody wants to do that. That's basically the ideal society for most people.
I mean, that's not what I want to do, though.
No, it most certainly.
I want to create things.
Hold on.
That matter.
Hold on. It most certainly. I'm not saying you have to do it for 18 hours a day, but it is what you're doing right now. Essentially, you're hanging out with a friend, being able to spend time with them. Now, imagine you didn't have to go to school and you didn't have bills to pay, and you could just play games with your friends whenever you wanted. That's really exciting. Now, if you also wanted to create art and they could watch your art and interact with you, that would be something that would be cool as well. Or you want to go and play a sport, you could play sports with them. But basically, these are worlds where you no longer have to worry about going to work. And that's the future for a lot of people. Not saying everyone, but a lot of people in the future, because they will have no job to go to. The jobs will have been replaced by artificial intelligence and robotics.
Yeah. I mean, again, I still think, there's going to be fun things that we can do, for sure. But, I'm not saying you can't have fun. But what I'm saying is, I think a lot of people, especially, I know myself and my own personality, everything would just feel so bleak to me, even though there's all these fun things you can do. It would still feel bleak because there's nothing to strive for or work towards that has meaning, right?
Okay.
It's just, and I think this is it's a very common kind of worry with the advancement of technology by a lot of people. Obviously, it's not just me.
Right, but
probably been discussed for hundreds of years.
That's true. But a pharmaceutical company could create a medicine that allows you to not have that feeling of um, boringness. Of
Okay, so like Brave New World type
exactly,
shit.
exactly. That's where we're headed.
Yeah, I disagree with the Brave New World. I don't think that's good. I think it's a dystopian novel for a reason, right?
Right?
I think
Okay.
it's I mean, maybe you can. I mean, it's valid. It's valid. You make a logical argument, arguing, saying that that's good or whatever. But that is kind of interesting of an argument because the purpose of the novel was to say, hey, this is a bad society. I mean, fair though. But you can argue that.
Well, okay. What do you want? Whatever you want, we can get.
Yeah.
So what do you
want? I want struggle that matters. That's what I want.
Why do you want struggle?
Because for the same reason, not for a not same reason, for the similar reason that when I play a video game, for example, I don't want to play an easy video game. I want to play a hard video game.
Okay.
Because I want to be challenged and I want to improve. Because that's what gives me fulfillment, right?
Absolutely.
Give me even more fulfillment, like deep to my core, is if what I'm struggling with matters directly for like myself or my well-being or my family. Especially with that.
I get you. Okay.
So
So why can't we build a video game that does that for you?
Because the video game, it'd be frivolous, right? When it actually matter. That's what I'm saying. It's like you can't just. It's not going to matter. You can simulate it, but it's going to be fake, and I'm going to know it's fake. And it's like this doesn't matter.
Okay, so what do you want? Do you want to have to chop down a tree to be able to stay warm? Well, how much of a challenge do you want? Do you want to have to grow your own food? Like, how much of a challenge do you want?
I don't like. Be balanced. I don't want to be in constant fight or flight mode. Obviously, like I want it to be good, but I want to have to work towards it being good, right? Like I want to be able to work. And then the fruits of my labor make it good. And it's like, nice, I made it good.
Okay.
And so now I can enjoy this.
Okay. So we can create a system where there's a video game that everybody wants to play, but you have to program it so that you get to play it. That's the best of both worlds. Everybody's able to do what they want, but if you want to have to work at it a little bit, then you have to program it to the point where then you get to play.
But it's an artificial. That's an artificial like barrier, like that I'm putting on myself. That's not the point. My point is, it needs to actually like be a required struggle that has meaning. Because if I don't do that, then like something bad will happen, kind of thing. But like not necessarily like, but it's like a super hard thing necessarily. It's just like I don't want to be in like constant stress. Like, oh, if I fuck up, I'm gonna get fucking owned or something. Like, not like that. But I do want things to be difficult and have stakes. Yeah.
Okay, so then we say, look, I understand what you're saying. Okay, so let's say there's a situation where all your friends get to play a video game, and you, in order to play that video game, have to do some programming yourself, some kind of puzzle or whatever, or you don't get to play the video game that day. There is serious challenge in that. You'll feel a sense of accomplishment if you are able to complete it, because then you'll be able to say that you did it the hard way, basically, and be able to spend time with your friends. And if you aren't able to complete it, then you don't get to play.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is like that's not like meaningful though. Like again, it's an artificial barrier. It's not meeting my criteria of what I would say would make it meaningful. Is one, it's an artificial barrier I'm putting on myself, and two, it doesn't actually like. It's not to work towards something that like inherently like deeply matters, right? Like like hanging out with friends stuff matters, but I mean like deeply, like to my core, that is the meaning of my existence, kind of thing. And so like for me, one of the core things that gives me meaning is like one day have a family and have children and be able to provide for them and give them a good life and educate them and all of these things. You know, that's So like, if it were something towards that, then yeah, absolutely. But what I'm saying, and I don't think you're gonna convince me, because it seems like inherent with the society that you're saying is like, okay, everything's automated by AI and robots, which I agree is probably going to happen. But what I'm saying is that's a dystopia in a lot of ways, because now there's no actual like meaning of like struggle or working towards anything. It doesn't matter because there's an AI robot that can do it as good as you or better. So there's no point of you even fucking trying, because you could have like you could do like 100 robots that can do it way more efficiently than you or whatever. So that's what I'm saying. It's like, damn, that's like a fucking pointless, bleak existence.
Okay, but what if we just give you a pill so that you don't feel that way?
Then I would feel like I'm betraying my nature, and so I don't like it.
Yeah, but you wouldn't know the difference if you took the pill.
That's true.
There you go. So,
that's fair, but
so then just.
But I haven't taken the pill right now, so I do know the difference.
I understand.
Don't take pills.
Zoot, you don't know what we're referencing. So.
Yeah, we're
having an interesting conversation, Zoot. Just sit back and listen.
Somewhat from Brave New World.
Exactly.
You know what I want to take?
What's that?
Let's go back into it.
Okay.
You saying?
Where are you from, Zoot?
Australia.
Australia.
I feel like unless you had children, nobody, I feel like most people would go back and start their life over 12 or 13 years old unless they had children.
I don't think I would. Nah, bro. Because then you'd be so much farther behind in life.
Yeah, it's like they're just waiting to accomplish something. Yeah. Oh, sure. Yeah, no, yeah. Easily. That's not even a question, of course.
Unless you had children, because you never going to say
Well, that's not why. That's not the things you can do with the knowledge you have now. The things you can do.
Right. But
you have the knowledge you have right now.
Unless you had children, there's no way that you're going to reproduce the same child.
It's not sure.
It's mathematically impossible for you to. If you go back in time, it's mathematically impossible for you to produce the same child.
Yeah, sure. But I mean, I don't have any children now.
Maybe you'll produce a better child.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I don't know what I'm gonna produce. So, anything about it any better? Given that, I mean, the amount of stuff I'm doing.
Like worst case scenario, like maybe your child comes out a little weird, and then you're like, oh, okay, it's the rewind.
It's a little bit.
That's just like
Pretty easy. Yeah, I feel like that's a pretty easy right?
No, I'm kidding about the child part.
What? That was the excuse?
No, I wouldn't go back yet.
The roof was too slow. You know, the roof the other snipers run was
Rabbi.
Yes, sir. I'm resetting.
I know, right?
I'm resetting my streams.
Rabbi, you gotta move that hand.
Rabbi,
You're blocking it, man.
I got rejected from the orgy. What?
All right. Well, shit happens. Why'd you get rejected from the orgy, Zoo?
But that's to bridge me. That's why America seems insane. Because
I mean, what did they say? How?
So she said, they said they've already filled all the spots.
what's going on with that?
All right.
I don't know. I just want to say the 40 people. I said the other day.
All right. Zoo, tell them your stand-up.
But I do not go to Canada anymore. It's because
Why not? You have an audience.
well, I'm pissed that I got rejected from the orgy.
Zoo, the last time you had your dick in this girl's mouth, you couldn't. climax. So, I mean, what do you want her to say?
Is Jude a regular?
Yeah, Zoot's a regular. He's here all the time, and we love him
Would you
for it.
think yes, that like stuff could dig in this guy's mouth and it's a rejection from an movie?
Fuck yeah.
That's not. That shouldn't be legal. You're donating to.
Did she remember who you were?
That's crazy.
No.
Yeah, she did, dude. You've had like a bunch. Like, do you know this girl's first name?
Yeah.
Yeah, she remembers
I
you.
had two encounters.
Yeah, that's
I had two encounters.
within the last 2 months, man. You're like pretty well.
Wait, yo, dude. Okay, what's the current political ideology in Australia? I've never done any research in Australia.
That's crazy.
What do you mean?
Just generally speaking, like I don't know if you know anything about American politics, like conservative, liberal. I don't know. Like what you heard, communist or right? Like what's your?
Y'all got a parliamentary system? Or how's that shit working? So it's liberal labor. It's liberal labor.
Okay, we don't know what that means. To explain.
Liberal and labor. But the liberal and labor, but the labor party is very liberal. Like more liberal. Say like the Labor Party is way more liberal than the Liberals.
So it's liberal and super liberal.
Yeah.
Pretty cool.
That's actually one of the interesting things that's
Which
happened
one are
in the
you?
UK, because we were constantly being gaslit that like our entire
Barbara?
establishment is entirely neutral.
What are you?
They're
Yeah, what are you?
absolutely neutral. They're balanced, neutral, balanced,
What are you?
whatever. And
No, we don't. No, we asked you first.
I
We asked
have
you
a lot of
first.
respect for the BBC because it used to be a great thing. It used to be real high
Well, like,
journalism. And
I
then a
wasn't
lot of the
familiar
people that have
with
run a lot of
either.
these institutions, they
That's
start
Well, yeah,
to
that means
suddenly go, oh, okay, you're just a far left wing. That's what you are. And you see that all over the place now.
But like
That gaslighting is getting up.
Like a third solution type of thing?
That's good. We need to
What are we
see what
talking?
these people were up to.
Yeah, if they had more power, I'd probably go the Greens, which is more environmental.
Oh, it's like a Ted Kennedy type.
There was a lot of like dismiss.
What's your what's like the equivalent back over there?
We got a Green Party led by Jill Stein, and then we also got like Ted Kaczynski, which is like kind of like a conservative. I guess you could argue like a conservative type of environmentalist.
What in a way?
Where do you actually? What do you actually?
I would more go out of the Green Party policies.
Okay, socially, where are you? Socially, are you right or left?
But you're okay with the far left.
And they have guns and murders with them.
More right.